Thanks, Doreen.
We do have a limited amount of time today for you to sit and listen to all our wonderful speakers here, so we're going to kind of get started. It is a shortened version of this part of this program because we are going to be working on our continuous tactical planning process today, and so we're just going to have Dr. Farnsworth give us some updates, but I want to give you a few housekeeping items before we do that. We will have drawings for door prizes at right before lunch, so stay. Okay? Not that you would want to go out in that, but we will have a few more drawings for door prizes. Lunch will be in the cafeteria around 11:30, and that's always a good meal. Remember, the Faculty Association has their items set up in the lobby, so bid often, and remember that it goes to the support of the mini grant requests. They're also going to be doing Split the Pot, so that will be out there as well. The association meetings are at 1:30 today. The Faculty Association will be in Wright Conference Center. The professional staff will be in Fireside Room, and classified staff in Newton Hall Conference Room. We are filming today, so those people that couldn't be here, if you know of some of those individuals, let them know that so that they can still watch that and receive staff development credit. The campus will close at 3 today, except for those offices that must stay open for enrollment purposes. And we want to thank those dedicated employees that stay here and take care of those students for us. And I want one last thing. Did everybody pick up your agenda? Because it's very important. Okay, we're going to need that as we get into our activity. Okay, let's introduce our new personnel. Our new personnel and their supervisor, if you'd come on down, we'll do our introduction of new personnel.
Don't fall.
I'm Rhonda Helm in the records office here at Neosho, and I would like to introduce the new Shirley, who is Christine Siegel, and she comes with us with 13 years experience from Columbia Schools in Joplin. So.
This morning I've got Haley Reardon here. She came from Freeman Hospital, and she was in their PR and Public Relations department there. Or that's the same thing, marketing. She replaced Sam Evans in the foundation office. We're thrilled to have her leading the events and alumni. We're so happy to have her. She is a Crowder graduate. Also MSU, and her husband's a Crowder graduate as well, played baseball here, so she brings a lot of Crowder back to Crowder. And then Lori Barnes is also working in the grants office for us, and we're thrilled to have her here. I want to mention that the foundation has got a table out in the front lobby. If you have a chance to stop by and take a look at the information we have about becoming a foundation member, we'd like for you to. We're going to have some drawings later today for everyone, employees who are members of the foundation. So we've got some good prizes today. So if you haven't had a chance to ever sign up for that, come out today and we'll give you a little information about it.
Well, she is new to us in the athletic department. She's the new but old Shirley at Crowder, I should say, in a nice way. We're happy to have her over here. She's been baptized by fire over here. I think the second day she was here, I got the official email we were being audited in basketball from the NJCAA. That is not fun, so that means you drop everything and don't do any of your work until you get the audit done. So we're still baptizing her by fire. Now it's syllabi for the new semester, but we're happy that she's here, and we're happy that she's here full time. Shirley Gray. And this is John Sizemore. This is our new softball coach, and we were lucky. Very, very fortunate we were able to get him in less than 2 weeks. It was just a bang, bang, bang thing. We all got to go on Christmas break that were involved, so I was very fortunate that he decided to take the job. He will be starting baptism by fire as well, because he had to come back on campus before he left for Christmas break and meet our softball team. I think we had 8 girls out of 15 that came back after they had already left to go home. So I think that's a significant number, and So he's already met them and called them, so he really didn't have a Christmas break, except he did get to go to Vail for a few days right after we hired him. So welcome, John. Get the chance to know him. Thank you.
Good morning. This is Rachel Holcomb. She joined our office. She works with Amy and I when Donna went to Webb City. Rachel comes to us most recently from Freeman and is a fairly recent newlywed. Has a bachelor's in marketing and a master's in public affairs. So we are grateful to have her, and she's doing a great job. This is Rachel.
This is Keith Zoronsky. He's 13 years old.
Hence the tie.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now he likes long walks on the beach and
Getting caught in the rain.
getting caught in the rain. Okay. He is the new Social Studies and Teacher Ed Division Chair.
This is Angela Carr-Heron, and she too likes long walks on the beach. No, I'm kidding. Angela is new to our TRIO Student Support Service team. She serves as a secretary, oversees the lab, and does a great job making students feel at home. She comes to us with 15 years of banking experience and just a warm personality that has fit nicely in our office. I'd also like to welcome back Jeff Elwood. He started this semester, so Student Support Services, we took last semester was about survival. Thanks to Lisa Adams, we did that, and this semester we hope to just really get to dig in and help as many students as we can. So welcome, Angela Carr-Heron.
Welcome to Crowder. Now we're going to have any announcements that anyone wanted to make. I know a few people had mentioned they would like to make some announcements. Russ? You can come if you want to. I guess I could have brought you the mic. I don't know.
Hello, everyone. And there's folks over there and folks over there. We are going to try to start a Toastmasters group here at Crowder. There's flyers out there. You can take the handout home. Send us an email if you're interested. We're going to try to have a get-together, set-up meeting to gauge interest in the club. The idea being that we all have to speak publicly. We're all teachers. Many of us don't do that as well as we could, and we need to also pass that on to our students. And so if we have an opportunity to do it for fun, in a very safe environment, we're going to try to do that. So take a look, email me, email Carrie Keckley, email Jason Edgar, and we will see if we can get something going. The idea is to have the instructors and faculty and staff involved first, and then expand it to the students so that we have a really great dynamic club. Thanks.
We're going to have you come down so we can get you on film. Well, we can't get you on the taped version. I could put in what you're saying, but you might not appreciate that.
Okay, good morning again. Welcome back. And I was just saying to Wade, we thought the lights were for us for our Tuesday, Thursday noon ball that we try to keep up with all the students. But anyway, I'm Jamie Stanley with the Student Success Center, and we kind of spearhead the Need Directions program. Those blue carts that you see out throughout the semester, we do have a cart out in the lobby with the sign-up sheet for the whole semester. You don't have to sign up today, but we're making it easy on you. You can always contact us because I will be sending out the request for sign-ups probably at the end of this week, depending on what we get today. But we're going to be out the first 2 weeks of the semester, and then we're going to be out the first week of the month for February, March, April, May. So 6 times we're going to be out. And those of you who are unfamiliar with Need Directions quickly, it's just a program that is available to help students. We have information that we're going to hand out, such as login, billing, when enrollment time comes around, things like that. You don't have to be an expert, just a smiling face and the willingness to engage students and help them on their way. And also during the first week or so, it is really truly a directional thing too, because you'll have students coming in, they won't know where their classroom is, so it's nice to have someone directing them. I know there'll be some other folks helping out with that. So the cart is right outside the gym here. If you want to sign up, feel free and do that, but you will be seeing emails coming from us, and we appreciate your help. Thank you.
Any other announcements?
Hi, I'm LaTanya Bailey, and I'm the advisor of the Crowder Quill, and I just wanted to mention this publication that has been produced since 1980, and it is a literary and art magazine, and it's for high school students, Crowder students, but then also the community members, and that's where you guys can enter as well. And the categories are in fiction, nonfiction, poetry, art, and photography. And so you could enter it, your neighbors could enter it, your family members, your students. And so it's just really a good publication to have to encourage the artists and authors and the creative abilities that we have in the area. And we really don't have that kind of thing otherwise. And that's a really good publication for them to be recognized. And then those winning entries are published in May, and we have an award ceremony and a poetry reading as well in May on campus. And the class magazine production could use more students. So if you know anyone who wants a fun class and to learn how to produce a magazine, or it really would help someone who wants to publish a book as well, that's a great class, magazine production. Thank you.
I know that, and this really isn't me, so I'm stepping outside of this, we've all been reminded about the ways that we can contribute to needy causes here at the college, and there's probably been other additional funds created as well, but I'm just going to speak on behalf of the one that the TRIO team, in conjunction with some other folks on campus, have got it started, and it's called the Student Emergency Fund, not to be confused with the TRIO Scholarship. That is still here, and there will be an announcement in a minute about that. We're going to have a fundraising, exciting fundraising experience there. But the Student Emergency Fund is something small. It's about $200 per semester per student that would request it. Anyone that is pursuing a degree in higher education is eligible. There's information that I can give you out on, or I can send it to you. It's not literally on the web yet. But when you're making your contributions, if that's something that you're interested in putting $1 or $2 into, I just wanted to encourage you to do that. It helps folks that have, God, I got nervous. I don't normally get nervous. It's the gym, I think. Those really unforeseen circumstances, those things that come up that prevent you from even getting to class. So as you can see, it's a little bit different. It's not a full scholarship. It's just fulfilling, that small need to help them be able to pursue their goals. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you. And now we have another one. Okay.
I don't know if you can, you can hear over it. Hey guys, my name's Jamie Ward and I'm with the TRIO group upstairs. I work specifically with Upward Bound, but we're here to announce our upcoming fundraiser for our TRIO scholarships. It is a dodgeball tournament. It's going to be held here at Crowder Gymnasium, May 3rd. Woo! Everybody ready for dodgeball? Yeah, we are. We're super excited. It will be our first one here, so we're going to need a lot of volunteers, a lot of support. We're going to have teams of 5 or 6 people, so get your community ready. A lot of businesses will probably send in teams, and yeah, get your throwing arm ready. Mark's doing his stretches already. Wade's holding tryouts. We're all pumped. So anyways, we just want you guys to know there are save the date cards out on the front table. Please grab one so you remember, and we'll be sending out frequent emails as things progress, okay? Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Now, if you'll please welcome Dr. Kent Farnsworth. He's going to give us our college update.
Great first half, team. In fact, Colthorpe offense, terrific job. Field conditions got a little messy there at the end of the half, but I hate to see the guys scramble. But if there was ever a physique that was designed for punishment, this is the one. You stood up well. Offense, thanks for a great semester. Defense, Cummins. Where's our defense? Terrific half. Couple of penalties from that state line judge. Guy has no sight, I tell you. And some of the penalties were unmerited. But if you're not trying hard, you don't get penalties unless you're working hard. Terrific half. Where's Slinkard and our special teams? Super half. Brought a great group of new players in, coached them well, made it through the semester in great shape. But it's not over until the college chorale sings, right? So we got a new half facing us, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's happened in this first half, and then get you ready for some things to expect in this second half. As you know, we have a presidential search underway, and the search team the committee has narrowed it down to 3 finalists who will be on campus the second week in February. And among those, Jim Cummins, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, a woman from Hope, Arkansas named Jennifer Methvin, who's the Vice President of Academic Affairs there, and Brent Bates from State Fair Community College in Missouri, who's their Vice President for Academic Affairs. I think 3 very strong candidates, and we're going to have a number of public forums for them. They will meet with the administrative, with the VPs and associate VPs, with the College Council, and the leaders of the various faculty and staff association groups for lunch. And then there will be a public forum in the afternoon for each, at which they will speak briefly and have an opportunity for anyone who wishes to ask questions of them. So you'll all have a chance to be involved in that if you wish. I think that the board will probably make a decision by, so I probably shouldn't guess, but by probably the end of March. And so the transition will occur sometime between the end of March and the end of June. I can't wait. Just to see who it is, that's what I meant. Lots of building activity going on, as you know, as facilities activity, in addition to the retrofitting that's going on that was talked about a little bit. McDonald County facility opens formally tomorrow with an open house. At 10 o'clock, you're all invited to be down there for the formal ribbon cutting. It's a beautiful facility. You're just going to really be amazed at what a nice place it is. And we're going to have sort of a party ribbon cutting tomorrow to open it up before classes for nursing begins there on Monday. We've delayed the rest of the classes for another week. All the labs aren't exactly ready to go, so we postponed some of the classes for a week. But nursing will begin on Monday. And join us at 10 for ribbon cutting if you can. Then on the 19th, there will be a formal dedication at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and a recognition of Jim Tatum's 50 years of service on the board. And it's going to be a much more formal affair. It's technically by invitation, but the college community is invited to come down. We say by invitation because we're somewhat limited in space. And so we just haven't opened it up to the broad community as a whole. You're probably all aware that this past semester we purchased the facilities in Cassville. So they're now owned by the college. And we're engaged in conversations with the Cassville community on ways that we can begin to refurbish them. Those of you who've been there, it's a nice campus, but it looks very much like 3 metal buildings, which it is. And the community's interested in turning it into more of a campus-looking setting. So we're going to be developing facades and so on for those buildings with the help of the community there. Webb City construction is moving along remarkably close to schedule for the weather that we've had. They've been able to go inside It was 39 degrees in there the other day when they were working, and they thought they were in heaven because it was -5 outside. But if you haven't been by there, the second story metal construction is up. The second floor concrete is poured, so it's moving along very well. Still looking for an August start in Webb City. Couple of new things. As you know, we have been thinking about adding residence hall space for quite some time. As we costed that out and looked at options, we found that we could purchase the Crowder Village across the street for about a third of the cost of building the equivalent amount of space in new residence halls. And so we approached the fellow who owns Crowder Village, and he was willing, in fact, I wouldn't say anxious to sell, but he sort of inherited them because of some financial trouble that they got into, and it's not the business that he's in. And he's always hoped that the college might be interested in them. So we're just finalizing the negotiation for the purchase of the Crowder Village. It has the same number of beds in it that we were planning to build. Probably most of you have not been in those rooms over there. It's very nice and very well maintained. It will introduce us to a little different housing settings than we've had before, in that that's apartment living rather than the dorm room living that we have now. But we have some very experienced residence hall managers who have experience with apartment living, and they'll help us make that transition and help the people who are not students over there transition to some other place to live, which is the one difficulty we still have to face. I expect that transaction will probably be completed maybe by the end of February. In fact, I think we have a March deadline on that in terms of our contractual arrangement. The other new facility change that we're making, we've had just expansive, explosive growth in our behavioral support program that Jamie and her group run. The need has been almost more than we can keep up with. And so we've decided that we need to establish a clinical facility for that, where we can have classrooms and observation rooms and so on. And so we're also in the process of purchasing the Kingdom Hall building that's on Highway 60 going east out of town, across the street from the Lutheran Church, if you know where that is. And that should also be finalized, I think, by the end of this month. And we'll be converting it into a formal classroom and observation setting, and be moving the behavioral support programs out there. They just received a $500,000 grant from the state that will be providing services around the two-county area, and need to have sort of a launching place for that. So, and at the same time, we're, with the foundation group, very actively pursuing some support for that, so that although we were able to afford the purchases as we are right now budgetarily, we expect to be able to offset a lot of that cost by fundraising. So, and that's well underway as well. There will be a board change occurring with Mr. Tatum's retirement, and you can expect at the next board meeting this month for that announcement to be made. The person has been selected and has been contacted and has been accepted and has accepted. The way the board works, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the process, it's an elected position, but if someone retires or resigns prior to an election, that seat is filled until the next normal board election would come up. Not the election for the person who stepped down, but the next regular board election time. So the person who's appointed will serve until that election, and then on that election time can run again for the seat, but could also be contested for the seat. And I think it's not this April that election comes up, but the following April. So the person will serve for 1.5 years about. We have a Thai group coming to visit us again next month. 4 people from Thailand, one of whom came earlier in the last semester, was very interested in our technical programs and our English language program. And so he's bringing another group of 3 back to look at more specifically at how they might bring students in here for English language training and for technical education training. So we hope that over the next semester we might be able to set up a cooperative arrangement with some schools in Thailand. I don't want to keep us, but I want to just wrap up by relating my most memorable Christmas experience. My wife and I had the opportunity to serve over the Christmas holiday with the Food Basket Brigade here in town. And those of you who aren't Neosho people, every year the community brings together enough resources that this year they were able to put Christmas meals together for 1,000 families. And they come into a central location in the city and go through it sort of like through a department store, in a grocery store. And there are stations where they pick up various things depending on the size of their families and so on. And I was right at the end. My job was to tell them where to put their baskets while they went to get their car. They trusted me with this assignment. A girl came through with her mother, the girl was probably about 14 years old. And I could tell she came through that she was just embarrassed to death to be there. She was so embarrassed that she wouldn't look anybody in the eye. And as it turned out, while her mother went to get the car, she had to stand across from me for about 10 minutes, just looking down at the floor. And I thought as I looked at her, I wanted to go over and put my arm around her and say, there's a way out of this. You can learn your way out of this. There's nothing that separates the rest of the people in here who are helping you from your condition, but the fact those people all have continued to be educated. And you can do the same thing. And so what I decided is my pledge for this semester, and would like to invite you to join me with, I'm going to find that girl over and over and over and tell her that in whatever ways I can. And so our admissions people, instead of thinking about going out and finding numbers this semester, I want you to go find that girl over and over and over and tell her there's a way out of this. And for your counselors, when she comes to you, help her understand how that works. And as you see your faculty in your classrooms, don't just think about conveying the information that's a part of your discipline, but help her understand how it changes her life, how it can change her life. And for our support people, when you see her on campus, help her understand that this is a welcome place to be, and that she can make it through. Because from the beginning of this last semester to the end, we lost 1,000 students who didn't come back. And they're going to be out there in that line another time when we'll want to say to them, there's a way out of this and we can help you. We need to take advantage of the helping opportunity that we have right now to get that done. So that's what I hope we'll do this semester. That's my pledge to you as your temporary leader, and I ask you to just return the pledge by finding each of those young ladies as they come in, young men, and helping them understand that they can learn their way out. Have a terrific spring semester. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Coach Farnsworth, for that rousing halftime pep talk. Okay, I promised we weren't going to sit in the bleachers all morning, and we're not going to. We're going to have an activity, and it's going to get you up and moving and rotating, and so we are going to work on the continuous tactical planning objective that the college has. So Dr. Colthorpe is going to explain that process, and then I'm going to come back and explain the activity. But it is important that you all have your agenda, so I'm going to go grab some for those of you that don't have an agenda while Dr. Colthorpe explains. Dr. Colthorpe?
First of all, before we get going, quick shout out to Connie. Great to see you. Love you. You all know I kind of have a brittle self-esteem. I have self-esteem problems. And this morning, I had 4 people tell me, keep it short. Now, why they had to tell me that, I don't know. But it does remind me of a story. Okay. Oh, and with sound effects and everything. Okay, what we're going to do today, you remember back in the fall, as a group, we developed the continuous tactical planning. All the areas were identified. You see them on the back of your agenda. All the areas were identified by the areas that now line up with all the mission goals of the board. Great input received. We have some big projects ahead of us. What we want to do this morning is to spend a few minutes identifying what needs to be done. How do we accomplish those goals? We have a diverse group here. I want you to look at it from where you are in life, either professionally or personally. If you've had kids that have gone through college, if you've had kids in K-12, look at it from that perspective. If you teach a class, if you work in an office, whatever your role is at Crowder, look at it from that perspective. What we're going to do is take about 10 minutes in each group. We'll rotate around, and the groups are going to fire out different things that they think we need to accomplish to improve in that area. They're going to help the committee with what needs to happen to improve that area. Okay? And then we'll do some type of alarm to know that we go to the next group, and once we're done with all the groups, we're done and we can go eat. That's it. That's the shortest amount of time I've ever spent talking to a group.
That was the short and sweet of it. Everybody should have gotten an agenda, and on your agenda there's a picture, and then there's a sport and a court number. And we needed 6 different courts, so I added cheer, which we're getting ready to bring on, and I added rodeo. And as you all probably know, we did purchase the arena, and we had a awesomely successful, I was going to use JP's new word, awesome sauce, but we had an awesomely successful rodeo in August and have a lot of great plans for that arena. So we're excited about that. So there are 6 different sports listed on your agenda. You each have one. That is going to put you in a group. And if you look at the bottom of your agenda, you will see how your group rotates. So I have basketball, for instance, and if I'm a basketball, I start in court 4, and we're going to have 2 rotations, and then we're going to take a break. And we know the break may be a little bit longer than normal because our restroom facilities may not be able to handle all the coffee we've been drinking this morning to stay warm. So we'll do 2 rotations. So if I'm basketball, I'm going to go to court 4. And you're going to work with your facilitator there for about 15 minutes. We'll give you the sign, and you'll move on then to court 5. And the courts are designated on the bottom. We have 5 is back here, this classroom. 6 is on the back of the stage. And then we start in here with 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you get a little bit of exercise this morning to counteract that great lunch that we're going to eat once we get done with our activity. So if you don't have an agenda, let me know and I'll give you one as you head to your stations. And like I said, once we're done, we're not going to have any more announcements from me. Yay! So we'll do our 2 rotations, we'll have our break, we'll get everybody back in, do our last 4, and then you can just go on to lunch. But remember the silent auction and the split the pot. Remember to thank the great cafeteria staff for the breakfast and the lunch that they're going to provide for us. And I would be remiss if I did not mention, we have these wonderful athletes because we have wonderful coaches and wonderful athletic staff. So I want to give a shout out to them for building those teams to the excellence that they are. So thank you. And thank you for the gym facilities today. I think it's been a great place to be. And I thank you very much. Let's get started on our first rotation.
They're there because somebody else is footing bill, and I want you to go to school. They're not going to be successful. And until they decide that I'm here because I need to be here and I want to do this, then they'll be successful.
So flipping it the other way with it, we need to show them the outcomes. I mean, like Dr. Farnsworth was talking about, they need to see this is going to lead them to a better life, more opportunities.
Right. Most students just don't have the work, don't have the motivation. I try to motivate them. That we have lots of pictures on the website from what's going on at the Neosho campus.
Nothing.
What do we have going on at Nevada? What do we have going on at Web City? I don't see pictures there.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Okay, are you sending your pictures?
I'm not. I'm not. Put down.
Okay, what if
Actually, we're going to have somebody to take pictures.
that's what I was going to say. We need to try to get back.
Every campus.
What about if you had user?
Yes, Casey.
I love the idea of us coming together and having different departments present on here's what's going on, HIP, here's what's going on with this program, with the all of our departments, but just having a forum to where we can learn what each department is doing and things that are going on, how we can support them.
It's a great idea.
The next round of that would be to go in, pick a couple of departments and start cleaning up their lists. So in English, for example, if we pull Suzanne, we might find there's 700 students that had been assigned her that she doesn't know about. We would go to Suzanne, we would clean up that list, we would make sure there were currently enrolled students, and I'm making that up. Because I want to see your eyes bug, Suzanne. I want to see your eyes bug. So we are working to make that happen, but that's a great addition. That's a great question.